I am a practicing Buddhist, and I come from a more or less, but not completely, Buddhist perspective. And the Buddhists don't put generosity first. They put wisdom first. That's wisdom has kind of a big connotation. It's a deep understanding, deep insight, and sort of a synonym for awakening. If you really, really had your wisdom big enough, you'd probably be awakened like the Buddha. But they devised a system of how to get your wisdom up there, and they call it the paramitas, which are translated a couple different ways, but perfecting wisdom, perfection, the perfections they often call it. It means we're trying to reach that fullness of our wisdom, and they always, always list generosity as the first step. Some schools have 10 steps, some have 6. I'll just rattle off the 6 that I'm most familiar with. Generosity, virtue, patience, some diligent effort, meditation, and wisdom. They include wisdom as the last one of the step to become wiser, I guess. So today we're going to focus on that first step, generosity. So what can we give? What can we give? It was interesting for me to hear the children only thinking of Christmas and gifts they got, material goods. So I always learn from children. It's very telling to me. And probably when I was 3 or 5 and I received that magnificent handmade horse, it was all about the horse. I couldn't believe somebody gave me a horse. I always wanted a horse, you know. And I kept very, very few things from my childhood, but I kept that. The grandmother who made that, some of you might remember a year or so ago, I gave a talk about grandmothers and other angels. She's my angel grandmother, and I kept a few precious things that she had given me. She had made all of them. And when I was meditating this morning, I was reflecting on what did she give me when she gave me this hand-sewn dog. And she gave me her time and her thoughtfulness and her skills, her love. You know, she gave me herself when she gave me that. So that's something I hope that all the children can absorb as they grow older. What's behind the gifts that they're given? What kind of gifts are they given? That sort of thing. So Thich Nhat Hanh offers 6 things that we can give. These are, and he is a little different than other Buddhist teachers who say there's these different levels of giving. There's material goods, and there's safety and security, and there's the teachings of the Buddha, and things like that. But what Thich Nhat Hanh says, the first gift we give is our true presence. That when we are with someone, we are truly there, 100%. Fully there in that moment. And we all know that sometimes we're not. We're thinking about that next thing we have to do, or what we're going to say when they're done talking, and we've all done that. At least I have. I guess I shouldn't generalize everywhere, but I think it's common. But to be truly present, and I think, certainly I know, I think we all know when someone is being truly present with us, when they're really there or when they're not really there. And that's the thing that I remember about my grandmother. She was really there. When she looked at me, she saw me. When I spoke, she heard me. which is a little different than most of the other grown-ups with children. So our true presence is the first thing that Thich Nhat Hanh suggests that we can give. And the second thing he offers, which didn't come to my mind, but he says we can offer our freedom from afflictions. He's got 6 things he says we can offer. Our freedom from afflictions. And when he talks about afflictions, he means things like our anger, our whatever it is that makes us suffer. Boy, anger's the only one coming in my mind right now. There's many. Maybe being distracted is an affliction, I'm not sure. But if we can offer our freedom, we can be there without our baggage, I guess would be a way to say it. To be there, fully there without our baggage. At least without our baggage banging into the moment. And the third thing that Thich Nhat Hanh says we can give is our freshness. And he has a beautiful way of describing freshness. Fresh like a flower. He makes the hand motion, a mudra, for the flower. Can we offer beauty? Offer a smile? He says if you smile, you are offering another flower to someone. To be fresh and alive in that beautiful, gentle way that flowers are. Fresh and alive and beautiful. Can we do that? I think we can. It's easier for some than others. And Thich Nhat Hanh, throughout this, is saying we can practice these. We don't have them all nailed. We can practice each of these as a practice. So then he says the next thing that we can offer is our stability. And his hand mudra for that is the mountain. I am solid and stable like a mountain. So when I'm with someone, and I'll admit this is tough, if I'm with someone who is angry, can I offer my solidity like a mountain, not really bothered by the weather? If the weather around me is anger, can I just be myself? Can I be the mountain? It's hard. It can be hard. Sometimes it's easy. It depends on where you're coming from, where I'm coming from anyway. So we offer our presence, our freedom from our own afflictions, our freshness, and then our stability around other people's energies, let's just say. Okay. So that's 4. The 5th one that we can offer is our own peace. And the mudra that he offers is a flat open palm, which represents still water. So still, it's like a mirror, undisturbed, undistorted. Okay. And that implies clarity, seeing things as they truly are. Not the story we're telling ourselves in our head about what's happening around us, but what's truly there in front of us. What's there? So peace, clarity, lucidity. That's a great thing to give if you can. We practice. And the last thing that Thich Nhat Hanh suggests that we can give is space. That's the mudra is space, spaciousness. That if you are with someone and they really need some space, if you can give them the space. And Thich Nhat Hanh really talks like that. He says, don't you just need some space? Space. He says we all need some space. He talks about flower arranging. in Asia, when they arrange flowers, there's not very many in a vase. That each flower needs its own space to show its true beauty, its full beauty. So, space. So those are the gifts that Thich Nhat Hanh suggests are most important to give, and that we can give, and that we need to practice giving, because none of us is perfect at them, at least certainly I'm not. Our true presence, our freedom from our own afflictions, our freshness, our stability around other people's energy, our lucidity, peace, clarity, and space. Those are the gifts that Thich Nhat Hanh suggests that we give. And he says, we cannot buy these gifts at the market. We have to produce them through our practice. And the more we offer, the more we have. When the person we love is happy, happiness comes back to us right away. We give to them, but we are giving to ourselves at the same time, which is beautifully reflected in the hymn that Sandra chose towards the end of that stanza. The more we give, the more we gain. And that is echoed. I read through 4 different books about generosity to prepare. And that was echoed in all of them, that the more we give, the more we gain, the more we receive. And they came with caveats, of course. You need to give from the heart. You can't be holding back. You can't feel resentful when you give something that isn't going to work. You're not going to get any gain back. You're not going to receive anything in that giving. So there's a concept in Buddhism where the gift, the giver, and the receiver are all the same thing. They are not separate. It is one thing. And the demonstration is, if I have my right hand, and what I have here is a beautiful stone. I think it's called jasper, in the shape of a heart, which is a gift to me. If I'm holding that stone in my right hand, and I give that stone to my left hand, this is a process. And you cannot have a giver without a gift. You cannot have a giver without a receiver. You can't have a receiver without a giver. You can't have a receiver without a gift. What's a gift without a giver and a receiver? It's just one thing. It's one thing. And no thing is static. Everything is always moving and changing. So that's a concept. And that's the best I can do to try to bring that concept to the fore. And in the books that I read, there was very little talked about material giving, except this one. There were 2. Thich Nhat Hanh says, giving is a wonderful practice. The Buddha said that when you are angry at someone, if you have tried everything and you still feel angry, practice generosity. Give them a gift. Amazingly, you will feel better right away. But since no one wants to go out and buy a gift when you're angry, go ahead and prep for it now. That was a lovely little bit. And the other story that was shared by a different Buddhist teacher was there was a very miserly person who came to the Buddha for help. He could not give anything to anybody at all. And so he went for help. And what the Buddha advised was that he train in generosity. And the training that he advised was to take a small object in your right hand and give it to your left hand. And so it's kind of a quandary. Now what do I do with it? You know, I practiced that this morning. I have several small objects sitting on my side when I'm meditating, and I just decided I would just pick each one up, you know, and have my right hand talk to my left hand. You know. I have this little fierce-looking sticky guy given to me by a grandson, and I'm giving it to you. Thank you, my left hand said. You're welcome, my right hand said. And I just practiced, and I sat it down. My left hand kept those things, right? And I went through each one, and, you know, my hands kind of talked to each other. It was an interesting experience. And I put them all back when I was done. But what he said was, the story is, the Buddha said, when you get comfortable giving to your left hand, then practice giving small things to your family. And when that feels comfortable, practice giving small things to your friends. And when that gets comfortable, practice giving small things to strangers. And it is said that eventually the man was able to give freely, easily, and joyfully, which is the return, right? That's the gain, a gain that we get back from giving, is that joy. So I wanted to share a few things from Deepak Chopra, who is not Buddhist, but Hindu, if I understand right, and a lovely spiritual thinker in our day. It is the intention behind your giving and receiving that is the most important thing. Practicing giving is actually very simple. If you want joy, give joy to others. If you want love, learn to give love. If you want attention and appreciation, learn to give attention and appreciation, which I've so felt from my grandmother. If you want material affluence, help others to become materially affluent. The easiest way to get what you want is to help others get what they want. The principle works equally well for individuals, corporations, societies, and nations, which I thought was very interesting because it was in the book by Thich Nhat Hanh that I read also. It says you can give these things, to give what is needed to even to nations. The best way to put what Deepak Chopra calls the law of giving into operation is to make a decision that anytime you come into contact with anyone, you will give them something. It does not have to be a material thing. It could be a flower, a compliment, a prayer. The most powerful forms of giving are non-material. Caring, attention, affection, appreciation, and love are the most precious gifts, and they don't cost you anything. The more you give, the more confidence you will gain in the miraculous effects of this process. As you receive more, your ability to give more will also increase. So he offers 3 steps. Today, wherever I go, whoever I encounter, I will give them a gift. Today, I will gratefully receive all the gifts life has to offer me. I will receive the gifts of nature, sunlight, the sound of birds, spring showers, or snow in winter. I will also be open to receiving from others, whether it is a material gift, money, a compliment, a prayer, whatever. I make the commitment to give and receive life's most precious gifts, and each time I meet with someone, I will silently wish them happiness, joy, and laughter. And while these aren't Buddhist words, man, I really love them. They really hit home with me. And to me, they sound a lot like wisdom, all of these. So coming back to the practices that lead us to great wisdom. And I will close with a quote from Chogyam Trungpa, a Tibetan Buddhist master. "We are far more Buddha-like than we know." Practicing generosity would be a great way to kick that off. Thank you so much.